Hello, fellow parents. Today we're going to be talking about movement-based learning in online environments. And so many of our kids right now are learning in the digital age. They are required to be online, whether it's through tutoring or group classes or learning on apps. And that's okay because that's a wave of our future. We're doing a lot of work online. But it's important for us to recognize that our children and even ourselves, we still need to move. God designed our bodies to be moving. So when we're working, we can have movement while working. It's not just taking a break from learning that we do movements, but we can sit at a computer and have movement. There are 3 different categories I put this in. The first one is for those kids who need to move their feet. Then those kids who need to move their hands. And then the last one is those kids who need to move their mouth. So those will be more of our talkative kids. So each week I'll discuss each one of them. So today we're going to get into the feet. So if you good parents, moms and dads out there, have kids who just constantly need to be moving, like they don't sit still, that's okay. It's how God designed them. And honestly, we don't want every single one of our kids to grow up sitting still. I don't know about you, but if I need a firefighter, I want that mover and shaker. I don't want that person who sits really well and quietly in the cubicle. And so we have to understand that each child has a plan that God has for them, a beautiful book in their life. And as they open it and unlock who they're called to be and what they're designed to be, they're going to need a different type of movement. So let's talk about the feet. For our children who can't sit still, there are some great ways we can incorporate movement. One that I love that's easy is using resistant bands. So resistant bands, which we know for exercise and developing muscle, when tied to a chair, what we can do is we can help stimulate that same movement as in walking and doing exercise. And for many kids, this is nice and discreet, and especially if they're in a large classroom, this is a great strategy that won't distract other kids. Another one I love are bike pedals. And this one costs a little bit more, but for those kids who really love to move, this is really wonderful to set underneath the desk. I also love this for reading time. So during reading, when a child is reading their book, they can sit on the couch and just move their legs, and the time goes by even faster. Another thing that will be very helpful for children who don't sit still well is create a game with them to talk through some of the careers that don't require people to sit still. So you can encourage them by letting them know, listen, not everybody will be required to sit still. Who doesn't sit still? And come up with a list: an ER doctor, first responder, teacher. These are roles that people are required to move. So their desire to move is natural, especially because if they're designed to move, it will be aligned with what God has called them to be when they grow up. And once you make that list, ask them, how do they move? And then ask them, well, are there times that this person has to sit still? So a doctor has to sit still when they're writing their notes. What are the consequences if they don't? They won't write the notes right. The person could get the wrong surgery or the wrong prescription. And go through the list, spending a special time on the role that the child really gravitates to, really feels like they're called to be that in the future. And I guarantee, as they sit and realize that even those who are movers and shakers are required to sit still for some time, that they will understand the importance of it in themselves and buy into finding the different strategies to help them with sitting still. Now, let's talk about brain breaks. It is so important, even if you're incorporating movement in the learning, that you're giving your child an opportunity to take a break. And this can be done either by getting up and doing an exercise, so a jumping jack, running up and down the stairs. Please remember when our children are taking a brain break, that they should be doing an exercise and a movement that's fun for them. If it's not fun, then it's just another hard task and it's not giving them the relaxation that they need. And a brain break should be done at least every 25 minutes. So I've had parents say, well, shouldn't we teach our child to sit still for 90 minutes, 2 hours? And the reality is no, they don't need to sit completely still. They have to be successful and get it done. And if we think about it, many of us in the workplace don't sit completely still for 90 minutes. We get up and go to the water cooler. We get up and walk over to a meeting room or walk over to someone else's cube. Or those of us who work from home, we get up and go to the fridge. Or if we have some of our calls that we don't have to be on camera, we walk around and we pace. Even when I'm at home just chatting with friends or family, I'm pacing around. I need movement. So let's just celebrate how God designed us to be, celebrate moving, and find ways to make learning fun. All right, I'm believing that was helpful. Now, if you're needing more individualized support for your child, I'm here to help. At Try Joyful Learning Center, I ignite a love of learning through transformative online tutoring for K-8 graders. My approach? I seamlessly integrate academics, social emotional learning, and life skills to create a personalized plan for your child that will propel them into the bright, fulfilling future God has for them. So check out my website and schedule your free consultation today. Until next time, peace and love. Bye.